some time before the game. We've talked to Gene Moore, who was the head coach a few weeks ago, and Gene said that the turnovers and the mistakes are killing this football team. This is a very talented football team, but at the critical moment, there seems to be some type of mistake to kill a drive or turn it over, and it's just been a bad situation. They just can't quite seem to get it all put together.
They're 1-6, and they could easily be 6-1, really, you know, if they could just eliminate some of those mental mistakes and also some of the turnovers. They opened up the year giving away 3 touchdowns to Mountain View right off, 21-zip, and Mountain View coasted and won the ball game 21-0. From then on, it's just been the same story, different opponent each week.
After the penalty, it's going to be second down and goal from the 17-yard line. Croston rolling to his right. Has Steve Moore. Moore's at the 5. Moore will score. Touchdown, Evergreen. Nice little pass from Croston to Steve Moore for the score.
Croston didn't have much to put it in there, but he put it on the numbers of Steve Moore, and he got some good downfield blocking by his wide out and coasted into the end zone. So Evergreen, with 2:02 left to go in the first quarter, has jumped out on top here at Doc Harris Stadium.
Jeff Fry, number 30, will come in to hold for the extra point. Steve Moore would have attempted the extra point, but there are flags on the play. So we'll wait and sort this out.
Well, if Camas wasn't aware of the possible fake for the 2-point conversion, well, they might be now. As Fry picked that one up and started to go to his left-hand side. Illegal procedure against Camas, so Evergreen will attempt the extra point one more time, but you can bet Camas will be aware of the possible rollout by Fry.
Penley will mark the ball down to the 1.5-yard line. Steve Moore still in to attempt the extra point. This time Fry puts it down, and Moore splits the uprights. So with 2 minutes and 2 seconds remaining in the first quarter, our score from Doc Harris Stadium is the Evergreen Plainsmen 7 and the Camas Papermakers nothing. Welcome back to the ball game tonight. I'm Jim Barner along with Kevin Hastings. Fine ball game tonight. Evergreen has just scored and jumped on top 7-0, and the kickoff right there by Steve Moore, number 32, trickled out of bounds at about the 17-yard line. Make that the 17-yard line. So there will be a 5-yard penalty assessed against Evergreen, and they'll re-kick the football.
Last home game for the Camas Papermakers, and see some of the fans there getting their yells in here. We see the replay. Kyle Croston rolling to his right, getting a little pressure, and boy, he put that right around number 24. That's Grant Bergstrom, and also number 46, Chris Fisher, and he put that right on the money to Steve Moore, and from then on, it was clear sailing.
And after the 5-yard step-off, Steve Moore will kick the ball off from his own 35-yard line. Back deep for Camas, number 20, Chad Blackford, and Chris Fisher, number 46. Fisher will field the ball at his own 20-yard line, returning it to his left. Fisher up over the 35-yard line to the 36-yard line, so a real nice return by Chris Fisher, and the Papermakers will put it in play 1st and 10 with pretty good field position.
See Chris Fisher there coming off, and heading out to take over the controls is Grant Carroll, the other sophomore quarterback. 2 sophomores starting tonight, so a couple of players that we'll see a couple more years here, getting their experience here in 1987.
Ball fake to Dale Trent, and they gave it on the round play to John Giddings, number 23, as he swung to his left. And he put the football up to the 38-yard line, a gain of 3. It'll be 2nd down and 7. Kevin, it looks like Camas has been running the football. They've been running it with a little bit of misdirection.
Camas has to do that. You know, they're not going to knock anybody over, especially this Evergreen team, and they're going to do it with a little action here, a little play action, a little fake, and hand off to a wing back, and Giddings that time. This time it's Trent.
Dale Trent giving the football straight ahead. Trent gets just over the 40-yard line, a gain of 2, and it'll bring up 3rd down and 5. We're under 1 minute to go here in the first quarter.
There's Mike Brophy calling the signals for the Camas offense, relaying them in to Grant Carroll. Mike, here in his first year at Camas, has had his ups and had his downs, and he feels his team is improving and would like to show it here tonight against an Evergreen team that beat Battleground last week. And boy, I tell you, this would be a real nice win to beat a AAA Evergreen ball club.
Pass from Grant Carroll was intended to Larry Meyer, number 37. And Kevin, I think Meyer was looking downfield. The ball hit him right in the hands. And I think he was looking to see just exactly maybe how far he could run the football down the field, and it got away from him.
Whenever you take a step toward the inside, you'll want to take a glance up just to see who's coming, just to make sure that you're going to be able to keep your head, just to make sure that you're going to be able to, carry all your bodily parts off the field. Well, he took a look and it cost him. Look at that boomer.
John Giddings with a boomer of a punt, bounding inside the 10-yard line, down at about the 9. Kyle Croston, number 20, returning the punt up to the 30. Let's see exactly where they're going to mark this. Not the 30, make that the 21-yard line. So an excellent punt by John Giddings of Camas.
Nice punt, just boomed it over the deep backs, and here we see it again. Just unleashed it over Moore and Croston. A better yet, takes kind of a crooked bounce, and finally Croston corrals it back at his 5-yard line and makes a pretty nice return at the 21-yard line, but nevertheless a great punt. Almost out kicking his coverage too, because a couple more blocks there, Croston had it.
First down and 10 Evergreen. Croston swings it back to Alan Williams, and the ball gets away from Williams. It falls incomplete, and that'll bring up second down and 10. And Kevin, a play like that, kind of a swing pass, but you've got to be careful that's not a lateral.
That's true, and you had Chris Doolin and Brad McNeese pulling out that time in front of Alan Williams. That's the kind of play that I've seen a lot in college football. You see it in pro football, it always seems to work for 8 or 10 yards. And that time was set up too, and that could have gone a long, long way, because Williams was out there with 2 blockers, and there was only 2 defensive backs right there ready to try to stop that one.
Second down and 10. Croston back to pass again. Backpedals by some time. Nice catch by Steve Moore, number 32. He'll have the first down. Still on his feet, struggling free. Gets away again. Steve Moore still on his feet to midfield. Down the sidelines, knocked out of bounds at about the 45-yard line. Excellent play by number 32, Steve Moore, showing some good second and third effort to get away. And the Plainsmen will have it first down and 10 from the Camas 45-yard line.
Hey, that's quite a play to end our first quarter of action. It was a nice play, just a quick screen pass, and we'll see that one again. But we won't see it until we pay some bills. Don't go away.
And we're back to start the second quarter of play tonight here from Camas. Evergreen leads this ball game by a score of 7-0.
Or this ball game, if you
That's
will.
from Australia, ball game. Lapsed into my Crocodile Dundee, I guess, there for a minute. Flag on the play, and it appears they will step this one off against Evergreen. It'll be a 5-yard offside penalty.
One of the young Evergreen players just lined up in the neutral zone, and they called that one right away, so Evergreen will have to start back at midfield facing 1st and 15. How did they get to the 45-yard line, you ask? Well, I'll tell you right here. This screen pass. Watch Croston roll to his left-hand side and throw back to Steve Moore. That sets it up. Moore makes a great catch, and the rest is all Steve Moore. He picks up a great block there, picks up another nice block. He breaks 1 tackle. He'll break 2 tackles. He'll get away from Blackford, and Larry Meyer finally knocks him out of bounds. But, hey, nice play by Stevie Moore, and also 2 good blocks there by his pulling lineman.
Steve Moore, only a junior, and a fine football player, as we've seen all season long. Steve is also a fine basketball player, so a multi-talented athlete for the Evergreen Plainsmen.
A lot of good young talent out here. Camas lined up before this game with their parents. The seniors lined up, the rally squad lined up, the trainers lined up with all the parents, and there was only eight Camas papermaker players, any senior players that were lining up out there. So this is a young team, too, that you're looking at there, and that's their defensive unit. And my gosh, Jim, it's not only Halloween, it's the 4th of July here at Doc Harris Stadium. But our 1987 regular season coverage, getting back to what's really important, season coverage of Greater St. Helens League football comes to an end next week, if you can believe that. We'll be in Battleground to see the Battleground Tigers take on the Prairie Falcons. And you can catch this game Friday at 10 o'clock on Channel 34. That's a few more channels down. in Greater Clark County and on Channel 24 in Camas and Washougal. And if you miss it Friday night, you still got a chance to see it on Channel 25 Saturday at 7:30, Tuesday at 5, or Wednesday at 5.
Draw play by Croston. And the quarterback, Kyle Croston, will pick up 3 yards. And, Kevin, that looked like maybe that was the designed quarterback draw as Croston went back to pass and then pulled the ball down and tried to get away up the middle. And he gained 3 yards, and we'll bring up second down and 12.
Second and 12, and that's what we call right there our Jim Barner camera, because that was Jim's view for many of his football games over there in Seaside Land, right there, right behind one of the players. But Evergreen now facing second and 12, and again, their drives have been very nicely done. They've moved the ball well, except when mistakes, when they're trying to overcome an offsides penalty here on second and 12.
Pitch ball to Steve Moore. Moore gets away from one Camas tackler, and Moore gained a couple of yards up to the, down to the Camas 45-yard line. So the Papermaker defense now rising to the occasion.
Matt Loop had the first shot at him and kind of slowed that one down a little bit. Good pursuit by the Camas defense. So you're right, third and 10, Jim, and coming in with the play is number 85. That is Greg Boyd, and you can bet Croston will put this ball up in the air.
You know, Loop didn't make the tackle there, but he disrupted the play. And a lot of times someone will say, boy, I sure wish he would have made the tackle. He didn't make a very good play, but he did make a good play.
Hey, you get out there one-on-one with Steve Moore and see how many tackles you make.
Pass from Croston. He swings it across the field to number 85, Greg Boyd. Boyd looked like he had a little bit of running room there, but forced out of bounds short of the 40-yard line. A gain of only 4 yards, and it'll bring up fourth down and long, and another punting situation for Evergreen.
Chad Blackford was over there, also number 37, Larry Meyer, and Scott Pelkey all the way over from his tackle spot helping out. So good hustle there by Pelkey and the rest of his mates. Fourth and 7, and back deep will be Fisher and Luke.
Again, back to punt for Evergreen is Alan Williams. Low snap, nice, high spiraling kick. Fair catch called by Camas. That's number 46, Chris Fisher. And the Papermakers will put it in play. First and 10 from their own 12.
First quarter stats, an entertaining first quarter. Evergreen leads in total yards there. You see 99-51. Camas foiled by the one interception, ruining their first drive. You can see it there, one turnover, but even first quarter, but Evergreen on top, 7-0.
Papermakers starting this drive deep in their own territory. Still in the quarterback, number 10, the sophomore, Grant Carroll. Carroll gives the ball to Fisher. Fisher trying to slant off the right side, and Chris picks up a couple of yards right there, and it'll bring up second down and about 7.
No matter what the record, it seems like the Camas fans always fill this place up, and a very enthusiastic crowd just about every time you come into Doc Harris Stadium.
Second down and 7. Carroll's pass is complete to the outside. Number 45, Matt Loop with the reception. And it looked momentarily like Loop, if Loop could have got away from the tackler, Jeff Friday, number 30, he could have picked up some good yardage down the sidelines, but it will be enough for a first down.
Just like playing catch on the sidelines, Carroll drops back, just swings it out to Matt Loop, as you'll see here on our KCOL instant replay. And Jeff Fry does a good job. You know, one-on-one out there, that's got to be one of the loneliest feelings in the world, because if you miss that tackle and he's able to get by you cleanly, well, you're looking at a tie ball game and you're feeling like a goat.
First and 10 Camas from their own 25-yard line. Carroll sacked in the backfield, and good defensive pressure put on by number 75, Chris Devers of Evergreen. And Grant Carroll, only a sophomore, Kevin, did the smart thing. No one was open, and instead of trying to force the ball away, he just took the sack.
He did a good job. You can see why Carroll has been going to those quick drops, you know, that little two-step drop and delivering. That time he dropped back and took a little too much time, and Chris Devers put the leather to him, forcing 2nd and 16.
Carroll back to pass, swings it out to the right flat, Chad Blackford. And Blackford gets back to the original line of scrimmage up to the 25-yard line. And it'll bring up third down and 10, Kevin.
just about the perfect call against a blitz. You'll see Sean Decker from his middle linebacker post come storming up the middle, and Carroll waits till they comes through and dumps off a little screen pass to Blackford. Here he comes back to pass and gets it away in good shape. If Blackford could have broke a tackle right here, there wasn't anybody left. He could have gone a long, long way on that one. 3rd and 10 now for Camas.
2 receivers split out wide to the left, Loop and Fisher. Carroll's going to look to the right, however. The intended receiver was Larry Meyer, and that ball was just slightly overthrown. And it'll bring a 4th down and 10, and another punting situation for the Papermakers.
Justin Fortenberry just knocked Grant Carroll back about 5 yards that time. He really delivered a blow after Carroll tried to pass that one to Meyer, and that will make you deliver the ball high when you feel like you're going to get hit. You're actually not even following through on that. You're worried about getting your hand down and covering up your ribs.
And we have whistles that will blow this play dead. That was Delex Palmer, number 34, back to punt for Camas. And we'll wait and sort this one out and see just exactly what the penalty is going to be. Appears it will be against Camas. And they'll mark it 5 yards and make it 4th down and 15.
What they're calling there is an equipment violation. I believe one of the players didn't have their mouthpieces in, so that's a pretty good call, you know, because it protects the players, and these fans love that call, really. You know, it keeps their teeth in. So
Palmer gets away a high short punt. I'm not even going to comment about that. Fair catch by Steve Moore, and the Plainsmen once again will have excellent field position. This time they'll start from the Camas 47.
Field position has just gotten better and better for Evergreen as this game has progressed, and starting in Camas territory at the 47-yard line sure makes it a whole lot easier than when Camas was looking at their 1st and 10, facing 90 yards to go for the tying touchdown.
Croston hands the ball off to Steve Moore, and Moore bolts ahead for 6 or 7 yards. Down near the 40-yard line, they'll spot it at the 41, a gain of 6. So Steve Moore is having a fine evening running the football for Evergreen.
Jumping over the fallen Chris Doolin and Brian Banky right here, and picking up nice yardage on 1st down. Inside and outside, the Evergreen Plainsmen continue to mix it up very nicely.
Gain of 6. It'll bring up 2nd down and 4, and the officials are going to stop the clock as it looks like we might have an equipment problem with the Camas Papermakers. And that was number 34 for Camas. Delex Palmer appeared to have somewhat of an equipment problem, but they've got that squared away. And it's still 2nd down and 4 for Evergreen. Galloway and Moore in the backfield behind Croston. Croston drops back to pass. Screen set up. Steve Moore.
Nobody's there.
To the 30. Steve Moore to the 20. Still on his feet. Down inside the 10-yard line, down to the 5. So that play, Kevin, was executed just beautifully.
You won't find a screen pass look any better than this one. The defensive man came through, was getting ready to sack Croston. He dumped it off. There were 2 blockers out there, and they looked at each other like, aren't we supposed to be doing something out here? Steve Moore said, thank you very much. Okay, watch this. Croston back to pass now. He gets pressure like he's supposed to and swings it out there. Look at that. There's 2 blockers out there, and they're going to go downfield. Won't hit a guy until they're 20 yards downfield. Leading the way is number 65, Brad McNeese. But Steve Moore that time had nothing to do but prance down the sidelines.
Crawford in at fullback, but that play was broken up from the time the ball was snapped. Croston thrown for a 5-yard loss. So excellent defensive surge by the middle of the Camas defensive line.
Bill Kowalchuk that time, the 6'1", 195-pound sophomore, another youngster that time, diving in there to spoil that one. So let's see here. Evergreen now at 2nd and goal from the 9.
And the officials will stop the clock. It appears we're going to have a timeout called by the Evergreen Plainsmen. So 6 minutes and 5 seconds left, Kevin. Plainsmen lead by 7, and they're knocking on the Camas goal line again.
There's a look there at some of the fans that made the way to Camas, and things have been looking better for the Evergreen Plainsmen ever since last week when they beat a very fine battleground football team. And I believe that was, I should mark that was 2 weeks ago, but you know, they've got a ball game here against Camas, and you know, it could really, you know, make this season a whole lot better if they could go out with a win against the Mountain View Thunder. Of course, that's their arch rival. They lost to them earlier, and boy, that's not a bad way to go, is to finish your season winning 3 out of the last 4 and beating Mountain View to boot. So you could bet they're going to be fired up for that ball game next week.
And Columbia Cable, we want to remind you once again, brings you college football every Saturday on KCOL Channel 25, and we'll get back to that in just a second. And we're not quite through with this one, so.
Oh, okay.
Are you a Beaver fan now?
Anybody who beats Washington.
You're a Husky fan.
That's it.
Second down, a goal for Evergreen from the 9-yard line, stuffed in the backfield again. Boy, Camas is playing lights out right now. Matt Baris with the tackle, and another loss for Evergreen.
Just a sophomore, 5'8", 182-pounders. And, boy, these sophomores are just cleaning up in there and doing a nice job here, forcing now third down and goal from the, looks like the 13-yard line. So Evergreen going backwards as they just get a sniff of the Camas goal line.
Matt Baris, an excellent play on second down, has forced Evergreen into a third down and goal from the 13-yard line. Croston back to pass. He's going to look to the end zone. Excellent pass. Touchdown Evergreen. Larry Humble, number 10, on the receiving end of that Croston pass, and there's a flag on the field. So let's just hold everything here 1 minute, and we'll sort this out. And it appears maybe the penalty will be against Camas, but we'll wait for the official's indication.
Whatever the play, that was just a nice throw by Croston, as Humble that time faked the inside move and went to the outside, and that ball couldn't have been thrown any better. So they're sorting out the penalties, and it appears like that touchdown will stand.
It's going to be an unsportsmanlike conduct call. Appeared against Camas the way the official indicated.
Yeah, that one will be marked off on the kickoff, so Evergreen will take the 15 after this conversion.
Jeff Fry in again to hold for Steve Moore. High snap. This time Fry is going to roll out to his left. Has the football, throws it back into the end zone. It will be knocked. Yes, momentarily caught but dropped. And that's Les Galloway in the end zone, says, hey, I came up with that football. But the official says, no, it hit the ground. It will not count.
Well, he still doesn't believe it no matter what the referee says. But the two-point conversion failed nonetheless. And the score now, 13-0.
And we've got 5 minutes and 17 seconds to go here in the second quarter. And I'm going to get back to that University of Washington college football, which I was letting you know about. And on Saturday, October 31st, which is tomorrow, if this is Friday when you're watching this game, at 10:30 p.m. it will be Oregon State.
Yeah,
you can do that.
Thank you.
Okay. Versus the Washington Huskies. And next Saturday, November 7th, it will be the University of Washington versus Arizona. And what's their fight song? Go ahead.
I don't know.
Come on.
That's live, though. Boy, I tell you, that'll be fun.
Live at 5:30 p.m. And that's right here on KCOL Channel 25. And excellent college football action can be seen here weekly. So be sure to plan that around your Saturday itinerary so you can be sure to watch a little bit of football. And I'm standing up and Kevin is hiding after that, I guess you'd want to call it singing display. I don't think it will ever take the place of singing, but if it does, I'll have him stand up next time. So anyway.
Nobody knew I was that small, did they?
You're small, all right. Either that or I'm just tall.
Evergreen now got has got kickoff now from the 45-yard line of Camas. So what to expect here is probably an onside kick, because even if it fails, you give Camas field position only at about the 30 or 35-yard line, plus you get the opportunity to try to get the football. So expect Steve Moore, I would think, to kind of punch this one over to the left-hand side.
Evergreen out on top now by a score of 13-0. Kind of a pooch kick, and there are flags on the play, whistles all over the place again. And I think, Kevin, we're going to have an illegal procedure call against Evergreen, and they'll mark off 5 yards against the Plainsmen. So I think we're going to kick this one down from the 50. I think if I remember right, you also have the names of the officials tonight. This might be an appropriate time as they are certainly getting their exercise tonight.
What a great segue. The referee, Steve Militic, The umpire is Bob Jackson, headlinesman Leo Jones, and the field judge is Gary Lucas. And they're the gentlemen keeping this ball game in order. Evergreen 3 penalties, 20 yards. Camas 2 penalties for 20 yards.
Moore kicks it off this time for the 50-yard line. The ball will receive by number 20, Chad Blackford. And the Papermakers will put it in play deep in their own territory. 1st and 10 from their own 6.
Feet don't fail me now, Chad Blackford was saying, and that's just a frustrating situation because, of course, in high school football, once your knee is down, well, that's it. The ball game's over. You don't have to be touched. And Chad Blackford this time is thinking, gosh, I'm going to bring this with the 25, 30-yard line and possibly go, and just couldn't quite get the footing to do it. So Camas, once again, they started the 10-yard line last time, now at the 6-yard line.
Grant Carroll's going to give it to Fisher, who's going to try to get around the right end. Good defense again by Evergreen. Carroll gets up to about the 9-yard line. A gain of, let's call it 3.
Jeff Fry hits him low. Justin Fortenberry finishes him off high. So pretty nice gain there on first down from your own 6-yard line. It seems like the Camas has this outside if they can just get it back fast enough to get out there. Fisher this time goes out there, and you can see it's fairly open for a 5-yard gain.
This time given straight ahead to Dale Trent, who fights hard to get up near the 15-yard line. And Camas right now, Kevin, just does not want to make a mistake with just over 4 minutes to go here before half. And they're running the football right now. It's 2nd down and a long 2. And one thing they don't want to do is turn it over on a pass.
Camas is definitely in this football game right now. An interception here and good field position by Evergreen. Well, they might not be in the football game anymore. You don't want to give Evergreen any more points here before the half ends. And it'd be nice to get on the scoreboard yourself. This is an important part of the ball game here, the last 5 minutes of the 2nd quarter.
Darren Phillips, number 25, is checked into the ball game. Dale Trent checks out momentarily with what appears to be an equipment problem. And we'll see if they can get that taken care of right away. Fisher with the football to the outside. He's got the 1st down, trying to get to the outside. And down the sidelines as he's knocked out of bounds at the 29-yard line. So Fisher with another real nice run.
If you can watch number 56, Brian Banky here, pull out and watch him flatten Justin Fortenberry. He flattened him right there, 42, sprawling on the ground, and Banky said, I've decked him. He went down and tried to lead the way for Fisher. That's great hustle by Banky, and a nice block, too, leading the 1st down run by Fisher.
1st down and 10. Not a whole lot of running room right there for the Papermakers. That's number 25, Darren Phillips, who had just checked into the ball game. And a gain of 3 yards. It'll bring up 2nd down and 7. Single setback behind Carroll, Darren Phillips. Ball given to Blackford. Blackford still on his feet. Hurdles one Evergreen tackler, now trying to get to the sideline, down to the 40. Finally tackled at the 36-yard line. So an excellent run by number 20, Chad Blackford, to get to the outside and get into the open field. The Papermakers will have a 1st down deep in Evergreen territory.
Well, if the Camas track program needs a hurdler, I think I know where they can find one, Chad Blackford here. He makes this run because he hurdles Jeff Fry. Fry will dive in at his legs here, and then he'll say, my gosh, where'd he go? And, well, he was right there on the ground, and Blackford just jumped right over him. And also a penalty flag on the play. It wasn't a penalty flag, Jim. It was just a timeout call. So Evergreen going to have to talk about it here as Camas has 1st down at the 37.
Kevin, I'm not sure if you noticed it, but that's a mark of a fine runner. In Blackford, what he did was when he got to the outside, he switched the ball to the outside. He was carrying with his right arm. He got to the outside. He put it in his left arm, keep it away from the tacklers, and that's something that you see good running backs do. A good smart play by Chad Blackford.
Yeah, it's good coaching there, as Chad Blackford said. You know, they're not going to strip this ball away from me. And those are the kind of things, you know, Jim, we talk about on the winner's circle. Probing stuff there in the Greater St. Helens League football. Had a good show last week, and And this week we hope to have Willie Thompson from the Evergreen Plainsmen and talk about this ball game and also talk about their upcoming ball game against Mountain View. We have a good time. We always love to hear from the fans on our viewer call-in. It's all Tuesday at 7 p.m. live on Channel 25.
Well, you know, that's been one of the complaints against your show is it's too mentally stimulating. And there's a lot of people like me who really almost can't watch it.
Well, I mean, it takes discipline to watch it because there's a lot of heavy stuff going back and forth. Like, Coach, why'd you do that? And, you know, probing, stimulating questions. And you know.
Well, I always hate to get out my computer and have to, you know, begin to take notes and whatnot just to keep track of what's going on. So maybe keep it a little bit more basic this week for the average fan.
Nothing average about you, Jim. Not at all.
First down. Camas is going to put the football in the air, complete to the outside. Grant Carroll with an excellent throw to the outside. And with the reception for Camas, Larry Meyer, number 37. Meyer drifted out into the flat, and the ball was right on the money.
Nice delivery by the young sophomore quarterback, and he's marching the Camas Papermakers here on what would be a 94-yard drive. Larry Meyer making the reception there. So Camas facing 1st and 10 at the 15-yard line. We talked about the final 4 minutes of the second quarter, and the Camas Papermakers are doing it to it here on their way at getting on the scoreboard.
Matt Loop out wide left, Rand Smith wide right. Carroll to number 45, Matt Loop. Down near the goal line, they're going to say he was tackled at the 1. So Loop brought down at the 1-yard line. It's first down and goal, Camas.
Hurry up offense. The Papermakers are to the line again.
Camas is going to spend a timeout right here with 2 minutes and 36 seconds before halftime with a first down at the 1-yard line.
Camas doing it in the arm of Grant Carroll. And, you know, if the Carroll name is familiar, Jim, well, it's because his older brother, Brian Carroll, played for this football team last year. You see Carroll here delivering the ball to Luke, just putting it right on the money, and Luke just about taking it all the way down, but stopped at the 1-yard line. Brian Carroll was our most valuable player on one of our games of the week last year against the Mark Morris Monarchs, won by Camas 20-0. He was 15 of 18 for 197 yards. That's Brian Carroll. His younger brother, Grant Carroll, just a sophomore, has the controls here, and Brian's here tonight. He came up for the game, and he's now at Western Oregon State College, where he's a redshirt freshman quarterback there, and came to see the younger brother take over what used to be his controls of the Camas Papermaker offense.
Quarterbacking certainly is nothing new to the Carroll family, as Grant Carroll, the sophomore, running the controls tonight for the Papermaker offense.
15 of 18 for 197 yards and a touchdown. Grant Carroll definitely had himself one heck of a ball game here last year. And his little brother Brian is doing the family proud here tonight also.
Dale Trent, the single setback behind Carroll. Fisher with the football, trying to get into the end zone. The official's going to mark it again short as the Evergreen defense stiffens once again. Number 32, Steve Moore, in on the tackle for Evergreen. And the football, Kevin, is right at the goal line.
Can't get any closer than that. The Papermakers aren't fighting the clock anymore, really. 2:17 and running. They got plenty of time. It's just a matter of punching this one in. They got 3 downs to do it from 6 inches away.
Again, Trent in the backfield behind Carroll. This time Trent will get the football straight ahead again, and he's in the end zone. Touchdown, Camas. Exactly 2 minutes to go here before halftime, and number 44, Dale Trent, scores the touchdown for Camas.
That's a very impressive drive for the Camas Papermakers and should do them a whole bunch of good as they go into the locker room. They'll feel a whole lot better about themselves as they'll talk about what they need to do in the second half. Chad Blackford here will attempt the extra point.
Low snap. Blackford's extra point is blocked and no good as Blackford was a little late getting to the football and slipped. The extra point was blocked. So with 2 minutes to go before half, our score, Evergreen 13 and Camas 6. John Giddings, number 23, to kick the ball off for Camas. Be fielded by Kyle Croston, number 20. They fake the reverse. Croston still with the football up over the 30 to the 35, still on his feet. Excellent return up near midfield and down to the 49-yard line of Camas. And we have a flag on the play, Kevin, so part of that nice return may come back. Chad Blackford, number 20 of Camas, limping back to the defensive huddle. So it is going to be a clipping call against Evergreen, and that will cost them 15 yards from the point of the infraction.
What that fake does there, Jimmy, is it just stretches things out, hopefully. What you try to do is make them think about something else and possibly send a couple of guys that way. It just kind of cuts down on the pursuit. It was a nice return, but the 15-yard penalty is going to mark it all the way back to the 30-yard line. Kyle Croston coming out running the offense. He's a sophomore also. He's 5 of 6 for 86 yards and a touchdown already. And his the other sophomore quarterback out there is number 10, Grant Carroll. He's 8 of 11 for 64 yards. So both quarterbacks off to a good start.
Quick pitch, and boy, hit in the backfield immediately. Steve Moore dumped for a loss on the play.
Matt Luke missed Steve Moore the last time they ran to his side, and he wasn't about to miss him this time. He was there at just about enough time to catch the pitch, but he took Moore and dumped him on his backside. Nice play there, Matt. 2nd and 15 now. 1:15 and running. That's a big play. You know, I talked about Camas scoring, getting momentum. And, you know, if you give up a touchdown here, you throw it all down the toilet. But, no, they need to hold him and do a good job and get the momentum back.
Just about a minute here before half. Croston back to pass. Here comes the pressure again by Camas. Croston gets away. Ball is picked up by number 45, Matt Luke. And the Papermakers are in business again with 54 seconds to go before half. Big Mo is definitely on the side of the black and red right now, Kevin.
And Big Matt's definitely on the side, too, of the black and red as Luke not only stops the run, but watch him here. He just sets up there in zone formation. Nice pressure there by number 65, Scott Pelkey, and Luke just steps right in front of Brad Roberts there and sets Camas up 1st and 10 at the 34.
Grant Carroll's going to throw to the outside, complete, but then dropped by number 37, Larry Meyer, who's had a fine ball game tonight, and we have a flag on the play after the play was over, so we'll wait for the officials to sort this out. It appears it's going to be a call against Camas. Too many men on the field for Evergreen, and that will cost the Plainsmen some more field position. We're down to 43 ticks on the clock before the end of the second quarter.
They had 13 players out there, Jim, and looked like they were in pretty good defensive formation, good shape to stop that play. The quarterback that time, it looked like number 30, Jeff Fry, slipped. Meyer was in good shape to catch the football, but just didn't do it. But the referee had to count all the players. I don't think he could believe his eyes. He finally came up with 13, counted them again, still came up with 13, and that's going to cost Evergreen 15 yards. 43 seconds, Jim.
Papermakers with the ball at the Evergreen 19-yard line, 1st down and 10. Carroll, quick slant, complete to number 46, Chris Fisher, who's hit at the 15-yard line. Clock continuing to run, 35 seconds to go.
Evergreen, what you might call a prevent defense, 3 defensive linemen, and there's 7 backs way back deep in kind of an umbrella defense.
Carroll, short drop, going to the end zone. Intended receiver was Matt Loop, and the ball was slightly overthrown to the outside. It falls incomplete, and it'll be 3rd down and 6. And Kevin, that will stop the clock with 21 seconds before half.
So this will give Camas a chance to think about what they want to do here. It's 21 to go, and facing 3rd and 6 here. They might, you know, looking at the defense that Evergreen has out there, they might consider running the ball and trying to get the 1st down, stopping the clock to set up the chains, and, you know, possibly going that route.
3rd down and 6. It is a handoff. Number 20 with a football. Chad Blackford still on his feet. Down to the 5 and driven out of bounds. Short of the 5-yard line, down to the 6. Mark up another one for Kevin Hastings. Kevin calling the plays from the press box, it appears. First and 10, Camas.
Not only did Blackford get the first down, but he did a great job getting out of bounds here. As you see the replay, fake to Trent. Here comes Blackford sweeping around the left-hand side, jumps over a man once again, and gets himself out of bounds. So now Camas is in real good shape at the 7-yard line with 15 seconds to go.
15 seconds left. Grant Carroll, the sophomore, at the controls for Camas. Carroll's going to roll to his right. Looks to the end zone, has his man. The ball is knocked away at the last second by Kyle Croston, number 20. Steve Moore also back on pass coverage. 8 seconds to go.
That play taking 5 seconds. And Camas has got one more shot where they have to try the field goal. And you see here number 10, Carroll, rolling out. And Myers in the corner, but Croston is also in pretty good shape himself. Depending on what Camas does here, you know, they might. Well, we're going to have a timeout now. Again, signal Camas' way. And what Camas might want to do, really, you know, you're down by 7 points. And if they're getting good enough position down to the maybe possibly 2-yard line, 3-yard line, they'll probably just disdain the field goal and go ahead and go for it and take a shot at it.
We've got 8 seconds left here, Kevin. I don't know, you called the last one a run. You said they might want to run the football. If you still have a timeout left, would this be another, maybe an area where you might want to run a draw or some kind of a misdirection running play? Thinking that Evergreen maybe is looking past. If you still have the timeout, don't score, you can call another timeout and kill the clock maybe with a couple seconds left.
With 8 seconds, you definitely have time to do anything that you want. As long as a pass play doesn't have Carroll back there scrambling around looking and taking too much time, well, you're going to get at least one more play. It might set something up, being able to run the football. You know, it could. It depends on what Evergreen's doing there, calling in their defensive huddle. It was just so set up. There were only 3 linemen, you know. Camas had the first down, really. Just had to block 3 guys, and then they did that with Blackford. That's why last time I thought they would. This time they've got 4 down linemen in there, so I think they'll throw.
Second down and goal from the 8-yard line. Quick pass to the outside, and the ball falls incomplete. The intended receiver was number 23, John Giddings, and Carroll's pass was short and underthrown, so the clock stops with 4 seconds to go, and it looks like Camas will bring on the field goal unit and try to salvage 3 points out of this drive before half.
On the extra point, Blackford didn't even have one chance at getting it away. There was about 3 Evergreen defensive players right there before Blackford could hardly swing his leg back. This time, if Blackford's to have any hope, they're going to have to get some blocking up front, as Chad will get off about a 25-yard field goal here.
Looked like also, Kevin, the footing wasn't real good, and Chad was down on his knees just a minute ago picking the dirt and whatnot from his cleats, I think hoping to stay upright this time.
Well, on the kick return, Blackford was the one who slipped down. On his extra point, Blackford's the one who slipped again. So he seems to be having trouble, like you said, staying upright. And I don't think the Camas is even really going to consider faking it. I think Evergreen's defensive coordinator is kind of going over that situation right now, saying, all right, let's be aware that a touchdown here would tie it up. But let's go ahead and maybe let them get this away and stay in a safe defensive formation.
Evergreen with only 8 players at the line of scrimmage. Here's the snap. The kick is up. And fading to the right, no good. The ball was wide to the right. It had plenty of distance. The Blackbird's kick is no good. So, Kevin, we played 24 minutes of football, and the Evergreen Plainsmen lead by a score of 13-6.
Camas getting a nice hand from their supporters, and they played pretty good football there for the last part of the second quarter. You know that Evergreen in the first quarter had 49 yards rushing, and they come out in the second quarter and get just 2 yards. So Camas doing a nice job, or make that minus 2 yards. So they didn't even get positive yardage. So Camas stiffening up defensively and had a nice drive there to get on the board. You asked, didn't you, how? How did Camas get on the scoreboard? Well, we're going to show you that once again. As you see there, just the last part of it, it's Dale Trent plunging in from 1 yard out. And here you see Brian Carroll from the ground view, handing off to Trey, just getting in the end zone. He just was able to nose himself in there. Justin Fortenberry taking the ball away there, but the play had been blown dead for quite a while. Camas drill team now taking the field for the halftime show, along with the Camas marching band.
And in just a minute, we're going to go ahead and kick it down to the sidelines where Joe Cerami is standing by with one of the Evergreen assistant coaches. And let's go down to Joe right now.
Coach Shuley, you're ahead 13-10 or 13-6. Now, the defensive coordinator, that's your position, right?
Yes, sir.
How they doing?
Well, we gave up the counter. We had them scouted well. They're not doing anything different from what we knew they'd do. They hurt us on the counter late in the second quarter. They threw one fade on us that we knew they loved to throw. They completed it. Camas executed that drive pretty well.
Yeah, they started off real well the first quarter. You stopped them. And then the last 4 minutes of the second quarter, they really started to get some big gainers. Did they break down? Did your defense break down?
Yeah, our ends were coming up the field a little bit, and they're cutting inside on us. We got to get them to stay tight, quit pursuing up the field so much. But Camas ran it well. The guards are coming out and blocking. They're cutting up the field well.
Okay, Coach, thank you very much for spending a couple minutes with us. Now, we wish you good luck the second half.
Thank you.
Okay, back up to you, Jim.
Thank you very much, Joe. We're at halftime here at Doc Harris Stadium in Camas. We're going to break away just for a moment or two, and we'll be back with the second half. Don't go away. Kevin and myself will be right back.
Welcome back to the second half of Columbia Cable's Game of the Week. Hit it. Who are we? We are Evergreen. Who are we? We are Evergreen. Who are we? We are Evergreen.
Cable proudly presents Greater St. Helens Lake Football, sponsored in part by Smokey's Pizza, where you get more pizza for your dough, and by Oil Can Henry's, where you don't have to change your whole day around just to change your oil.
Coach Steve Webb, you're the offensive coordinator. You're up in the press box. What did you find in that first half that made your offense start to click?
Well, we've made some adjustments this week, and we've decided to open up our offense a little bit, spread things out, and it's opened up our running game a little bit. And we ran that reverse really nice, and we're going to continue running off tackle and try to get that trap up the middle going. But, hey, you know, our kids are doing a great job out there, and they're getting things done in terms of blocking things on the line of scrimmage. And Grant Carroll's throwing a heck of a ball, and we're real
You're
happy.
still in the ball game, Coach. We wish you a lot of luck the second half, and we're looking forward to a great third and fourth quarter. Back up to Jim.
Thank you very much.
And thank you very much, Joe. And we're back here at Doc Harris Stadium. And Kevin, I was going to ask you a question about this halftime. Momentum seemed to be on the side of Camas there the last few minutes of the second quarter. Does going in at halftime, say for 15 or 20 minutes, does that have a tendency to take away the momentum you had built up on the field? Say if you had been able to stay out there and just jump right into the third quarter, is this more of an equalizer?
Momentum is one thing. Confidence is another. Camas had momentum. Halftime will break that up a little bit, but what they gained was confidence. We talk about, you know, Big Mo being on one side or the other, but Camas, instead of having that goose egg on the board, can look up there, see they've moved the ball, and they actually have something to show for it. Have 6 points, and we're in position to tie this one up. They go into the locker room feeling real good about themselves. And Evergreen, they just have to get things going. They really played a great first quarter, and second quarter kind of bogged down a little bit.
Again, our statistics provided tonight by Eli Kendricks, and you can see that Camas has jumped ahead in quite a few categories that they were trailing in at the end of the first quarter.
Evergreen -2 yards in the second quarter, yards rushing at 49. Camas 9 to 5 in first downs, turnovers even, 1 apiece, and we're getting ready to kick it off here in the second half.
Nice high deep kick fielded by Steve Moore at the 7, and they run the reverse. Galloway with the reverse. Galloway trying to get to the outside, still on his feet. Finally tripped up just short of the 40-yard line. So the Evergreen Plainsmen come out, and on the opening kickoff of the second half, Kevin, they run a reverse.
There's our resident member, and what a nice little message there. He's supposed to be up here doing stats. Eli, get up here.
Now.
Okay, Here's Steve Moore. Watch this. He hands it off to Les Galloway. They faked it in the first half. And here comes the safety man. The safety man is the kicker this time, Grant Bergstrom. And Bergstrom that time just wandered over to that side and shut that one down. But it's first down. It's 1st and 10 now at the 40.
Kyle Croston, the quarterback for the Plainsmen. Les Galloway, number 22, with the football right there, still on his feet, struggling ahead up near the 50-yard line. It appears he will be just short of a first down, but an excellent play by Les Galloway, number 22.
Les Galloway was quiet in that first half. Steve Moore was getting the bulk of the work, and now Galloway picks up a nice 9-yard gain here as he does some hard running inside there.
Gain of 9 on the play. It brings up 2nd down and 1. Just underway here in this 3rd quarter of play. And in fact, they're going to bring the chains out right now, Kevin, to see just exactly if he does have the first down or not. It is short, but short by just a couple of feet.
It's an offensive coordinator's dream right now, facing 2nd and a half a yard right at the midfield stripe. You can do anything you'd like here. And go ahead and take a chance and throw it deep if you want.
Second down and less than a yard for the Evergreen Plainsmen. Starting at quarterback tonight is number 20, Kyle Croston, a sophomore. Moore and Galloway, the running backs behind Croston. Les Galloway in the open field is going to cut it to the outside at the 30. He may score to the 10 and tripped up inside the 10-yard line. Lester Galloway, a big chunk of yardage on 2nd down and short. The tackle made by Camas is number 20, Chad Blackford, who made a touchdown-saving tackle at the 6.
Les Galloway put a big league move on Larry Meyer at about the 25-yard line to get all the way down to the 5. Made a nice cut to the outside. Now watch this, just great upfield blocking here as Galloway breaks it. Now watch him put this move on Meyer here. Dips to the outside, Meyer's left reaching. Chad Blackford is the only man to bring Mr. Galloway down, but it's 1st and goal at the 6 now for Evergreen.
Crawford and Moore, the running backs. Fumble, Croston falls on it alertly at the 10-yard line. A loss of 4 yards for Evergreen.
Last time Evergreen got down here inside the 10-yard line, Bill Kowalchuk spoiled it this time again. Kowalchuk goes flying in there and messes up the play as Croston couldn't handle it. And Evergreen once again gets inside the 10 and begins going backwards. 2nd and goal at the 10.
Kowalchuk, along with the other members of the interior defensive line, have shown a lot of quickness tonight, and they've disrupted quite a few Evergreen plays almost before they've gotten started. 2nd down and goal from the 10. Complete to Steve Moore at the 5. Still on his feet inside the 5, down to the 4-yard line. In on the tackle for Camas, Matt Luke. Again, saving a touchdown. 3rd down and goal from the 3.
One-on-one with one of the finer athletes in the Greater St. Helens League, Steve Moore, is scary, and Matt Loop that time was able just to get a foot on Steve Moore. So 3rd and goal now at the 3-yard line.
Steve Moore and Kevin Crawford, again, the running backs. Crawford's going to get the football straight ahead. He'll walk into the end zone easily. Touchdown, Evergreen. 9 minutes and 8 seconds remaining here in the 3rd quarter, and the Evergreen Plainsmen tally another touchdown this evening.
Les Galloway setting that up with a nice 44-yard gallop, and it's Kevin Crawford doing the scoring 3 yards out. It's 9:08 to go here in the 3rd quarter, and the Evergreen Plainsmen are going to have to waste a timeout while they get the right amount of players for their extra point.
Sean Anderson, number 84, a little bit late coming onto the field for the extra point, and Evergreen will have to spend a timeout to get things squared away here on their extra point effort. They went for 2 a little bit earlier, Kevin, and they failed on the attempt, so this is the 3rd touchdown for Evergreen, but right now they're sitting on 19 points.
Great job up front here by the Evergreen linemen, and you won't find an easier 3-yard run close to the goal line than right there by Kevin Crawford, who's able to walk in.
having missed that extra point when they went for two, Kevin, you might think here that they're going to, things they have spent a timeout, they'll just line up at the 3-yard line and try to get another 2 points on the board and get themselves up to 21. Good look at the crowd again here tonight at Doc Harris Stadium.
Kicking tee's not out on the field, so it does look like Evergreen will line it up and go for 2 points. I think, kind of a surprising thing here because, an extra point here would put them up by 2 touchdowns. Now 2 touchdowns can beat you if they don't get it.
Croston back to pass, has some time, swings it in the end zone. The 2-point conversion is good. The receiver, number 10, Larry Humble, hauls in the 2-pointer, and the Plainsmen have jumped on top by a score of 21-6. We're going to take a short break. Stay with us. And welcome back. I'm Jim Barner along with Kevin Hastings and Joe Cerami from Doc Harris Stadium here in Camas. The Evergreen Plainsmen have jumped to a 21-6 lead over Camas. Steve Moore kicks the ball off. Will be fielded by number 20, Chad Blackford. And Blackford dances ahead to the 35 or 36-yard line.
So out comes the Camas offense, led by their fine sophomore quarterback Grant Carroll and also fullback Dale Trent. He's one of the few seniors on the Camas team, number 44. He's a hard-working young man, 5'6", 150-pound fullback, but he's an intense young player. There he's got the ball.
Trent straight ahead, up over the 40-yard line, up to the 42-yard line before being stood up by Steve Moore and a couple of other white-shirted Plainsmen. Justin Fortenberry, number 42, also went on the tackle.
If you're a younger player out there and you want to learn something from a running back, watch Dale Trent. When he goes down, he stands up, sticks the ball in the air, and looks for a referee. He says all that is common courtesy, and, well, that's an awfully good thing, I think, to learn when you're younger.
Trent again with the football straight ahead, and Trent was stacked up at the line of scrimmage for no gain. And it'll bring up 3rd down, and let's call it 4 for Camas. Who is that man in the red jacket? Greg McMillan, one of our fine camera people here at Columbia Cable. Good look at the replay.
Good penetration by the Evergreen defensive line, stuffing that play. 3rd and 4.
Carroll still with the football. This time he gives it to number 23, and that's John Giddings. He tried to get around to the left-hand side, but he was met rudely in the backfield by a couple of white shirts.
Evergreen, you knew, had to make some adjustments to stop this this little sweep here. Is that Les Galloway is the adjustment that they made, flying in there and putting the leather to Giddings. So Camas is in punt formation, facing 4th and 6.
Giddings back to punt. Wow, the left-footed kicker gets off a high booming spiral. Is going to bounce inside the 10 and roll out of bounds at the 7. So an excellent punt by John Giddings will back the Plainsmen up deep. They'll start 1st and 10 from their own 7.
John Giddings has quite a leg on him, 53 yards, and better yet, out of bounds at the 7. You'd like to say he was aiming for the corner, but what he got was a good bounce and a booming kick to go along with it.
Just what the Papermakers needed, and that was to back the Plainsmen up deep in their own territory, 93 yards away from the Camas goal line.
Camas here now needs a good defensive effort here and would love to get a turnover and turn this one around.
Croston back to pass in his own end zone. Screen pass. Here comes the pressure. Les Galloway out of the backfield. Runs out of bounds at about the 9-yard line.
Looked like they're trying to set up a screen to the left-hand side to Steve Moore, and Croston didn't think he could deliver it over there, so he dumped it off to Galloway on the right-hand side. And Galloway really just ran right out of room, and looks like about 2nd and 8. He picked up 2.
Tackled by the sidelines. And that's kind of a dangerous thing if you're Carroll, the quarterback, or excuse me, if you're Croston, the quarterback, you drop back to pass, you look where the play's supposed to go, and you're in your own end zone, and your receiver's covered, and you want to avoid the safety, which is what he did by dumping the ball off to Galloway. 2nd down and 8. And up over the first down marker, just short of the 20-yard line. It'll be a first down for Evergreen.
Kind of a surprising call as Evergreen came right out on their first possession and ran the ball so well up the middle. In fact, that's all they did in moving down the field. And you're kind of surprised you see the screen pass on the first play. But now Evergreen is probably going to go back to that inside running game that's been successful here in the second half.
Steve Moore, number 32, with the football there. Good yardage on first down. The football appears to have come out, and the Papermakers think they have the football. We'll wait for the official's indication. It is. Camas has recovered the football, number 75 for the Papermakers. That's Troy Lindell in your program with the loose football. Big break for Camas.
6'1", 205-pound junior coming off the field there, making a nice play, making a big play for Camas. You'd think that's what they need to get back in this ballgame. It's a big defensive effort. Let's watch it again. Inside, once again, it's Moore. And he's done a pretty good job holding on to the football this game, but he just got it stripped right out of there. And it's Mr. Lindell coming up with it as there's a Evergreen player down on the field.
6 minutes and 35 seconds remaining here in the third quarter. We have an injury timeout on the field as one of the Plainsmen was shaken up on the last play. And I was talking to our director, Ken Locke, at halftime, Kevin, and I was going over a basketball situation for Greater St. Helens League basketball. For all of you basketball junkies at home, and it appears that Columbia Cable, we will be bringing you Greater St. Helens League basketball this winter, with our first game being on December 11th. And the games will be on Friday this year instead of the Tuesday nights that we brought you the games last year. So football season's just about over, but we've got basketball to look forward to, and we should have a fine, fine season of hoops.
We've had a real good season of football, and it's not over yet. A lot of interest left still as Columbia River is playing some good football. That's been an exciting team, and I'm sure a lot of people are interested in seeing how far they can go, as they've got a big date with Kelso. They've got a big date tonight. Right now, at this moment, they're playing Mountain View, and I think that is an awful good ball game. It's going to turn out to be, because Doug Dust is throwing the ball so very well for Mountain View. And, you know, River and Kelso is going to be a great matchup. If River can stay in the game to the end, well, they seem to find a way to win it. And, boy, it's going to be a great ball game at Kelso. Of course, our 87 regular season coverage of Greater St. Helens League football comes to an end next week. We're going to be back at District Stadium for the Battleground Tigers and the Prairie Falcons. You can catch the game Friday at 10 o'clock on Channel 34. That's a change in your schedule in Greater Clark County, and on Channel 24 in Camas and Washougal. And, of course, if you miss it Friday night, you still got a chance to see it on Channel 25, Saturday at 7:30, Tuesday at 5, or Wednesday at 5. From District Stadium, the annual tussle between Battleground and Prairie. Battleground winning at the first time by a score of 34-0. You got to think that the Prairie Falcons will be ready to get revenge.
The injured player right there in the middle of your screen is number 32, Steve Moore. The outstanding running back for Evergreen is being helped off the field, and it appears to be some type of injury to his right leg. And maybe we'll be able to get word from Joe Cerami on the sidelines to exactly what the nature of the injury was to Steve. So we wish Steve all the best here, and hope that it's not too serious. And again, we have 6 minutes, 34 seconds now remaining in the third quarter as they crank the clock up once again. A good look at the Camas Papermaker cheerleaders. And they've got quite a few fans out here supporting the black, white, and red clad Camas team tonight. Camas with a big break on the fumble, 1st and 10 from the Evergreen 29. Carroll with a quick slant over the middle. The intended receiver was number 46, Chris Fisher, and somebody for Evergreen, Kevin, got a hand in there and knocked that ball away.
Well, the omnipresent Les Galloway sticking a hand in there, playing himself one whale of a second half. Camas sends out 3 receivers to the right-hand side and just goes short to Fisher. It's Evergreen from his inside linebacker post, knocking it away.
Galloway vying for another Smokies pizza here with his outstanding play in the second half. We'll announce our most valuable player of the awards about the middle of the fourth quarter. Quick pass outside to Fisher. Fisher, nice move up the middle, gets away from a couple of Evergreen defenders and is up near the first down marker.
Sean Anderson and Jeff Fry were out there in coverage, and number 46, Chris Fisher. It's Chris Fisher. Fisher left him grasping for air. As you see Carroll deliver, just a little out pass there and inside move there. Just a nice run by Fisher.
Nice block also on the play by number 45, Matt Luke. Helps bring Fisher further upfield. It was enough for a first down. It's first down and 10. Carroll rolling to his right with some time is going to go to the end zone deep. Intended receiver was number 45, Matt Luke. But again, pretty good defensive coverage by Evergreen. With Kevin for a minute, maybe like Grant had a little bit of yardage to the outside, had he wanted to tuck the football away and maybe pick up 4 or 5 yards. But he decided to go to the end zone and try to get the whole bunch at once.
Carroll got creamed once again as he delivered that one as the Evergreen lineman in pursuit. Evergreen shows good quickness up front also. They're big and they're also fast. And that time Carroll barely got the ball away. So second and 10 now for Camas at the 18. Carroll now 9 of 12 for 74 yards.
Dale Trent, single setback in the backfield. They fake it to Trent. Then they give the ball to number 20, Chad Blackford. And Blackford picks up good yardage down near the 10-yard line. A gain of 8 for Blackford.
Last time they ran that play, Galloway sniffed it out, but this time Galloway over pursues. Watch him fly up the middle, and Blackford cuts right inside of him right there. And one of the Camas linemen got a piece of him and knocked him out on the play. So he knocked him outside. Blackford runs inside for 8.5.
Third down and 3. Fisher to the outside, now tries to cut it up inside. He does. It appears he's up near the 6-yard line or down near the 7-yard line, and we'll see where they spot the football. If he has enough yardage for the first down, he does. It's going to be first down and goal Camas from the Evergreen 7.
Brad Roberts making the hit, but Fisher kept his momentum going forward and was able to carry him for the first down. So Camas trying to capitalize on an Evergreen turnover with 4:58 and running left in the third.
Papermakers with 4 plays to go 7 yards. Carroll's going to toss the ball back to Dale. Trent's going to try to get to the outside, but he's met rudely by number 22, Les Galloway. Outstanding play by number 22 of Evergreen.
Galloway is doing a good job reading these plays. He's flying in there and making some real good reads from his linebacker spot. And that play was a little slow in developing, and Trent had no chance when Galloway has the beat on him. So second and 12 now for Camas. Second and goal from the 12, I shall say.
Loss of 5 yards on first down. Carroll rolling to his right, looking for some time. Now he's going to run the football inside the 10-yard line and being dragged down at the 10-yard line. So Carroll gets a couple of yards, and that's about it.
Brad Roberts, co-captain of the Evergreen Plainsmen, making the play that time. So Camas now facing third and goal from the 10-yard line and down 21-6. You got to believe that Camas will take 2 shots here into the end zone because 3 points will not do them all that much good.
Carroll still looking to the sidelines there momentarily for the play from Mike Brophy, the head coach. The Papermakers come up to the line of scrimmage. It's third down and goal from the 10-yard line. Straight drop. Carroll looking to the end zone. Pass was intended for number 45, Matt Loop. But the ball was slightly overthrown, and good coverage provided there by Evergreen by number 30. That is Jeff Fry back on defense for Evergreen.
Brad Roberts was also there from his linebacker post to double up on Loop. So Evergreen tightening up here.
As you said, Kevin, this is 4-down territory as they trail by a score of 21-6 on fourth down and goal from the 10. Camas will go for it. And we've got a flag on the play, and we'll see if someone again lined up in the neutral zone, and it is a penalty against Camas. Here's one of their offensive linemen. Wait for the call here. Maybe I'm wrong.
Well, that's another equipment call is what that is, as number 68 came away very unhappy, Bill Kowalczyk. And Kowalczyk that time was not amused. I believe they got him for a mouthpiece or some equipment problem. So that's going to cost Camas 5. So it'll just make it 5 yards farther, 15 yards to go for the touchdown for the Papermakers.
Carroll straight drops, going to throw it to the corner of the end zone. Ball is intercepted in the end zone by Evergreen. That's number 30, Jeff Fry, back with the interception. And the intended receiver on that play was Matt Loop. So Camas got a break, Kevin, by recovering the fumble, but they can't put any points on the board, so Evergreen comes out with a 1st and 10 from the 20-yard line.
Junior cornerback Jeff Fry making a nice play, his second interception on the day. And he's played himself a whale of a ball game from that cornerback spot, a lot of times being out there all by his lonesome.
1st down and 10, and we're going to go down to the sideline in just a minute. Find out from Joe Cerami maybe exactly what happened to Steve Moore. Handoff to Kevin Crawford. Crawford will get back to the line of scrimmage, and that's about it. Good defensive play by Camas, and let's kick it down to the sideline right now, and Joe Cerami.
Well, what happened to Steve was he got hit by 2 men, one going one way and one the other way, and his knee is pretty badly bruised up. They're going to take him to the hospital and get some x-rays. They don't think it's anything serious, but they want to make sure, and the coaches are really great in that. They don't like to take the boys and just let them sit around. They're going to take Steve to the hospital. Back up to you, Jim.
Yeah, thank you very much, Joe, for that injury update on Steve Moore, the outstanding running back for Evergreen. Crawford bulls his way ahead for 10 yards and a Plainsman 1st down. So the Plainsman right now grinding out yardage on the ground and keeping the clock moving. We have another injury on the field.
Jim, you talked about the bevy of backs that Evergreen has, and here's just one of them, Kevin Crawford, doing the inside work. He's carrying number 75. That's Troy Lindell, and carries him for big yardage up the middle as another Evergreen player is down, and that is, well, it looks like
60.
Number 60, but, well, that is not a Mountain View Thunder player. We don't even have number 60 on our program, so.
I thought I was transformed to the wrong game. Anyway, that injury to Steve Moore, let's just hope that that is maybe nothing more than a bruise, and we'll wish him the best of luck this evening. As we have another Plainsman who will be helped off the field. And I thought before the game we had all the names and numbers of all the players.
Well, I thought so too. I think maybe that, yeah, it looks like number 60. I can't tell, but once again, it's another right leg injury to another Evergreen Plainsman. And oh, look at this, Jim. Those poor people have escaped. They're in straitjackets. I can't believe it. Oh, look at that.
I'm almost afraid to describe the action right now.
Keep those shots coming down there.
It's a fine wrecking by our crew in the truck down there. Keep calling for more of those shots. The inside handoff and a little extracurricular activity there on the sideline, or excuse me, on the field between a Papermaker and a Plainsman. A gain of 2 on the play. It'll bring up 2nd down and 8. Thought for a minute we were going to have a hockey game break out here on the football field. With a 21-6 lead, Kevin, you've got to believe that Evergreen's going to be content to keep it on the ground.
Well, especially with the way they've run the ball here. Galloway's done a good job. Crawford is wearing down the interior. And just as we say that, Croston will throw, or want to throw anyway.
And Croston will be sacked in the backfield. Nice defensive play by Camas. Vossoff called that 7 yards on the play. Back to the 25-yard line, so it's going to be 3rd down and long for Evergreen.
Lindell and Kowalczyk again. Kowalczyk a sophomore, Lindell a junior. Croston has time right here, but good playing by the defensive backfield of Camas, and there's nowhere to run for Croston.
A lot of times that looks like just a great play by the defensive line. But those defensive backs have got all the receivers covered, and there's just nowhere to throw the football. So that's give half of that sack to the defensive backs. Galloway and Crawford, the setbacks. Croston's going to drop straight back to pass. Again, here comes the rush by Camas. Croston still on his feet and then buried by 4 or 5 black shirts. And in there leading the way, number 75 for Camas. That's Troy Lindell, who is at the bottom of that pile, sacking the Evergreen quarterback once again and bringing up 4th down.
Lindell has been there all evening long. He's been the one always at the bottom of the pile coming up. Troy Lindell, 6'1", 205-pound junior. He'll be back next year, as will most of these Camas paper makers.
Fourth down, and let's call it 18 to go. Williams' kick is away, and it will be down at the 48-yard line of Evergreen. Not a real long kick, but there was no return on the play, so Camas will start 1st and 10 just inside Plainsman territory.
25 yards, no return, Jimmy, and so Camas trying to take advantage of their second straight good field position here at the 48-yard line of Evergreen.
Clock is running. We're inside 5 seconds to go. We'll see if Camas can get this play off here before the end of the 3rd quarter. And they will not. So we have completed 3 quarters of play from Doc Harris Stadium in Camas with our score. The Evergreen Plainsmen 21 and the Camas Papermakers 6. We have 12 minutes of football left to play here from Camas. And those Evergreen Plainsmen right there in the middle of your screen have a 2-touchdown lead over Camas tonight.
Just starting the 4th quarter. As soon as that horn went off to signify the end of the 3rd quarter, all the Camas papermakers put up 4 fingers, and we're all yelling 4, 4, 4, signifying the 4th is theirs. We'll find that out.
Handoff straight ahead. Dale Trent into the secondary. Gain of 7 or 8, maybe 9 yards. So number 44, Dale Trent, running hard for the Papermakers tonight. 2nd down and 1. Lester Galloway, number 22, in on the tackle for Evergreen. Trent again, the single setback behind Grant Carroll. Trent with the football. He'll have the 1st down near the 36-yard line. And Kevin, what a stance number 44, Dale Trent, takes. It's a 4-point stance with his head just straight ahead, and when he gets that football, he's at full speed right at the offensive line, and Dale picked up 3 or 4 yards and picked up the 1st down.
Well, Trent kind of goes into a little Jekyll and Hyde. Off the field, he's a soft-spoken young man, a very nice young man, and on the field, this guy's an animal. I'll tell you, he's very intense. He has linebacker eyes, and he plays fullback.
Ball given to number 20, Chad Blackford, tries to get to the left side of the football field. Nice gain by Chad as Chad picks up 4 or 5 yards. On 1st down, we've got good look right there at inside that car is number 32, Steve Moore, the injured running back for the Evergreen Plainsmen, and they're going to take him to the hospital right now and take a better look at that knee or that right leg and see just exactly what is the problem. Ten and a half minutes to go in our ball game. 2nd down and 6. Trent with the football, and Dale Trent struggles to get a yard at best.
Brian Stultz is the one who flew in there first to put the hit on Trent. He was able to bounce away from that, but was able to set up the play for the rest of his defensive mates. 3rd and 6 now for Camas. You got to believe that Camas really needs this score right here if they're going to have a good shot at winning the ball game.
Critical 3rd down play for Camas. 10 minutes to go in our ball game. 3rd down and 6. Fisher will be short of the 1st down as he gets inside the 30-yard line down to about the 28. And that will be well short of the 1st down, Kevin. It'll bring up 4th down, and let's call it a long 3. And I've got to believe maybe the Camas is going to go for this on 4th down.
Referee timeout. Boy, I tell you, there's been a lot of equipment problems out there, and the referees are looking at that as number 56, looks like Brian Banky is coming out, and replacing him is number 64, Luke Strait.
Looked like maybe that's some kind of an arm injury, maybe a pinched nerve as he came out of the game holding his arm. Brian Banky did, so let's hope that's not real serious and we can see Brian back in the ball game in just a few minutes. It's 4th down and 3, probably the biggest play of the game so far for the Papermakers. Quick slant into Fisher. He's got the first down, but there's a flag on the play, so we'll wait and see if this play will stand or not. There is a penalty flag at the 27-yard line.
Illegal motion against Camas, so that will come back.
So that first down play will be wiped out by the penalty. Instead of having 4th down and 3, Kevin, it's going to bring up 4th down and 8. But you still have to believe Camas will go for it. The 5 yards stepped off against Camas will bring the ball back to the 34-yard line. Quick pass to Fisher. He'll be well short of the first down and driven out of bounds after a gain of 1 yard at the 33-yard line. So the Plainsman defense rises to the occasion, and the offense will take over for Evergreen. 1st and 10 after holding Camas on 4th down.
Brad Roberts, a great job, number 88. He's playing a good, solid game defensively. Jeff Fry, once again, we've called his name a lot, making the play also with Roberts.
Kevin, it's just about that time. We've got just a little bit under 9 minutes to go here in the ball game to be thinking about our Smokies Pizza, most valuable player of the game. And we'll get to that in just a few minutes. Croston gives the ball to Les Galloway. Lester with the football, big yardage. He's got a first down, still on his feet, driving up near midfield. So Les Galloway with a gain of 16 or 17 yards up to the 50-yard line. Troy Lindell, one of the tacklers for Camas. First down and 10, Evergreen. Ball resting right on the 50-yard line. Now the officials will stop the clock. It'll be an officials timeout. I believe we have another equipment problem. And number 62, Bill Gooch of Camas with somewhat of an equipment problem, but they've got that taken care of.
Jim, the votes have been tabulated. We'll have the Smokies player of the game after this.
Crawford, the ball carrier, down to the 45-yard line. Another good first down play for Evergreen. And I thought it was the non-smokers award instead of the smokers award.
Yeah, well, anyway, the Evergreen Plainsmen leading this ball game 21-6 have had to contend with the passing of Grant Carroll. He's put the ball up quite a bit tonight. One of the